incredibly courageous protester who works at one of Russia's state TV channels. And she got up on one of the main news programs tonight, the 9 p.m. news program, and she held up a no war sign. And now she has apparently been arrested. And she was an employee of the station. So I know a lot of you have seen this, but I want to talk about it anyway. I think it's really powerful and courageous. Okay, so what you can see here, as Max Seddon says, a woman burst onto Russia's main live evening newscast today with a sign that says, "Stop the war, don't believe propaganda, they're lying to you," and chanting, "Stop the war, no to war." And she worked at the station. So let me play you the video here, posted by this account.
Российский премьер подчеркнул, надо усилить сотрудничество в рамках союзного государства, а на совещании в правительстве обсуждали, как сохранить доступность лекарств.
I mean, this is, you're not even allowed to call it a war in Russia. So, and media very controlled in Russia. So this is really a big deal. I think it's a big deal. Now, this is who she is. Max Seddon also posted this. The anti-war protester who crashed the news broadcast is Marina Ovsyannikova, an editor at Channel 1. Says P. Chikov, whose Legal Defense Foundation is going to defend her against charges of, quote, discrediting the Russian armed forces. She's already at the police station. I wonder if this person is posting on Twitter. Pavel Chikov. Yeah, look at, he posted, who is this star of Channel 1? She needs to be protected urgently. He's probably taking a risk representing her. He is a human rights... Oh, he posted some stuff here. He says, the police can detain her for more than 3 hours only in 2 cases, drawing up a protocol under the arrest article of the Code of Administration Offenses, petty hooliganism or disobedience to requirements of a police officer, to detention on suspicion of committing a crime. This is the person who's representing, his Legal Defense Foundation is representing her. He says, Article 23.3 of the Code of Administrative Offenses on discrediting the armed forces, which appeared on March 4th and has already been applied at least 164 times in Russia for anti-war slogans, involves only a fine. She does not allow the police to hold. So what he's saying is the law they recently passed on discrediting the armed forces doesn't allow them technically to hold her in custody. Okay, that's it. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I didn't see that. Anyways, let me show you what she did. She actually recorded a video beforehand. She recorded a video beforehand. I'm going to show you the translation of the video. But you can see, Max Seddon says, Ovsyannikova also appears to have recorded a video beforehand in which she blames Putin for the war and apologizes for her work on the Russian state TV news. I'm going to show you a translation of what she said.
То, что сейчас происходит на Украине, это преступление. И Россия страна-агрессор. И ответственность за эту агрессию...
Okay, so I'm not going to play it all in non-English. But if you look here, this is what she said. This is her full speech translated into English. Kevin Rothrock posted it. She said, what is happening, and this is what she said in the video that she posted apparently before going on to live TV and holding up the sign. She said, what is happening in Ukraine is a crime, and Russia is the aggressor here. and responsibility for this aggression rests on the conscience of a single man, Vladimir Putin. My father is Ukrainian, my mother is Russian, and they've never been enemies. And this necklace I'm wearing, she's wearing this blue and yellow, white necklace. Blue, yellow, white, red, it looks like. She said, this necklace I'm wearing is a symbol of the fact that Russia must immediately end this fratricidal war, and our fraternal peoples will still be able to make peace. Unfortunately, I've spent many of the last few years working for Channel 1, doing Kremlin propaganda, and I'm deeply ashamed of this. Ashamed that I allowed lies to come from the TV screen. Ashamed that I allowed the zombification of the Russian people. We were silent in 2014 when all this had just started. We didn't protest when the Kremlin poisoned Navalny. We just silently watched this anti-human regime at work, and now the whole world has turned its back on us. And the next 10 generations won't wash away the stain of this fratricidal war. We Russians are thinking and intelligent people. It's in our power alone to stop all this madness. Go protest. Don't be afraid of anything. They can't lock us all away. So incredibly courageous of her. By the way, fratricidal, I believe, is killing your brother or family member. Fratricide, killing one's brother or sister. So again, she works at the station, and she went on the air not too long ago. I mean, it was the 9 p.m. news, and there's a 7-hour time difference. So this would have been like 2 or 3 hours ago that she did this. And she went on to the live news station, the live news broadcast, and she held up this sign that says, "Stop the war, don't believe propaganda, they're lying to you," and chanted, "Stop the war, no to war." It's really striking.
Российский премьер подчеркнул, надо усилить сотрудничество в рамках союзного государства, а на совещании в правительстве обсуждали, как сохранить доступность лекарств.
You wonder if this will inspire any other people to do this. Now, obviously, I mean, she's getting in trouble for this. She's been arrested. She could go to jail, from what I'm hearing. But I wonder if you'll see any others. I mean, I'm guessing they'll start taking more precautions with the live TV broadcasts. But you know, maybe who knows what else you'll see. I read Eric Feigl-Dang posted something calling her like the new Tank Man. You know, Tank Man from the Beijing, from the Beijing protests. What year was that? What year was the Beijing stuff? Exactly. Tiananmen Square protests. But the person, the guy with the briefcase, I think it was, who stood up in front of the tanks. (1989) was it? 1989. So I thought that was an interesting parallel, calling her like the new Tank Man. Hang on a second here. Ice cold beverage says incredibly brave. Adam V 2.0 says true bravery. Her Facebook is still up. They don't, you know, she has a Facebook page, but they don't have. I think Facebook's been shut off in Russia, I believe. But I don't know if she was updating it. But people are posting. I saw some messages of support. I posted a message of support. It's also interesting, the anchor just doesn't stop. Like I wonder if they're trained for this. Like the anchor literally doesn't even look at her. So I wonder if like this is what they're trained to do, the anchors. She literally doesn't even, I mean, I would think if it was me and somebody walked behind me and I wasn't expecting somebody to be there, I would at least look at them. But if you look at the anchor, she just keeps talking. I don't even know that she even looks.
Российский премьер подчеркнул, надо усилить сотрудничество в рамках союзного государства, а на совещании в правительстве обсуждали, как сохранить доступность.
I wonder if they're trained to, like, if somebody says stuff, just keep talking. Hollywood Reseller says anchor feared for her life and probably kept talking. Just kept talking. Amanda Soward says the anchor was like a robot. Someone said maybe producer alert. Sumyadip said maybe her producer warned her or alerted her. It's pretty amazing. A couple of our viewers are thinking that the anchor knew it would happen. I have no idea. I mean, I would think if you are the protester, you would not tell anyone. If you're going to put yourself at the grave risk you're putting yourself at, I don't think you'd want to tell anyone. But who knows? It's really incredible. Rolf Tone think the anchor knew. Andy K says, I bet she won't be the last. I'm very interested in seeing what happens. The thing is, though, I wouldn't be surprised. I would think that what you'll see is state TV, they'll start putting a delay on everything. I'm sort of surprised they didn't already have a delay. You know, what they can do is they can, like, you know, build in like a 15-second delay to the program. I believe they can do this. And then if anything weird happens, they can just cut it off. So it's pretty striking that, I mean, so it might be the case that something like this won't be able to happen again. I would be pretty surprised if they didn't do something like this with the live broadcast. But who knows? Lucy Murphy says Putin will make an example of her. I mean, look, she could go to jail or whatever and be punished. Something I don't know, though, is I wonder, is there any chance that her well, I don't know how much people in Russia are hearing about this. I mean, we're hearing about it. It's a big deal outside of Russia. I don't know how much people in Russia are hearing about it. So what I was wondering, is there any chance that that her being so famous for this prevents something like even worse that protects her in a way, because the world is watching. I don't know, you know. So I'll certainly let you know if I hear more about that. Yeah, I saw this as well. There's a paper, which I think is like is that like a sort of independent publication? There's not much of that in Russia. Yeah, Novaya Gazeta is a Russian newspaper known in Russia for its critical and investigative coverage of Russian political and societal affairs. Now, what you can see here is this is an article about Novaya Gazeta from a couple days ago saying journalism has been lost in Russia, says Novaya Gazeta journalist. Pressure on Russia's independent media and international outlets has forced several to close or move operations outside the country. Journalists are ordered to use only official statements and to avoid the words attack and invasion. Okay, so anyways, this is it's a still operating paper, which is like a rare news outlet that can be critical of the government, from what I understand. But look what happened. See, you can see here. Novaya Gazeta says it could not post what the sign that Marina Ovsyannikova held during the protest because of the new rules in Russia regarding fake war news. So they feel like they want to report on this in Russia. I bet a lot of Russian news literally won't even report on it. They want to report on it, but they're so worried about getting in trouble that they had to block out the sign. And then I actually saw their post about it, I believe. Hold on. This is it. See, Novaya Gazeta. If you look at what they say, they don't even really specifically get into it. They say, on the air of the program, behind the back of the host, a girl appeared with a poster, the content of which we are forbidden to transfer due to the criminal laws. So they couldn't even report on what the content of the sign was, because they thought they would get in trouble for reporting on that. So a lot of people in Russia might not even hear what happened. But maybe maybe people who would be interested in protesting might have ways of getting their VPNs or whatever, ways of getting their news outside of the state news and be able to hear about it. Okay, so I will let you know if there's more updates on that, but just extremely courageous of her. Extremely courageous. Crusader says, and I suppose nobody can share it via media in Russia. Well, remember, Instagram's been shut down, Facebook's been shut down, Twitter's been shut down. But I'm guessing there's other social media there. Oh, by the way, what is this? TASS. Evan Gershkovitz says, no comment. State media TASS says, the woman who burst into the studio. Now, she's an employee of the state. The woman who burst into the studio is actually an employee of the state, of the channel. She's an employee of the channel. TASS says she's a native of Odessa, Ukraine. Like they're blaming that on her. They're like explaining it that way. Let me see if I can find the TASS story. Is it even on their page? I don't even know if it's going to be on their page. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not on their page. Let's see. No. I'm guessing they're not featuring it. I just wonder if they're like going to try to spin it like she's a Ukrainian or something and not really Russian or something, even though she's been working for the channel. Oh, Leonid Rogozin posted about this. He says she is from Kuban. Let's see. Kuban is in southern Russia. And Leonid Rogozin says, if everyone in Russia who has family links in Ukraine rises up, it will be like every other Russian. So again, we'll move on for now, but again, really striking this incredible and extremely courageous interruption of the state media news program tonight by an editor. I've heard of both an editor and producer. She was an employee at Channel 1 in Russia, and she actually went onto the set carrying a sign that said, "No, stop the war, don't believe propaganda, they're lying to you," and chanting, "Stop the war, no war," as Max Seddon posted.
Российский премьер подчеркнул, надо усилить сотрудничество в рамках союзного государства, а на совещании в правительстве обсуждали, как сохранить доступность лекарств.
And I read her, she posted an earlier video. Blaming Putin for the war and apologizing that she worked at the channel. I read her statement before. She said, unfortunately, the last few years I've been working at Channel 1. I've been doing Kremlin propaganda. I'm very ashamed of it, that I let people lie from TV screens and allowed the Russian people to be zombified. We didn't say anything in 2014 when it only just begun. We didn't protest when the Kremlin poisoned Navalny. We just sat silently, watched this inhuman regime. Now the whole world has turned away from us, and 10 generations of our descendants won't wash off this fratricidal war. Yeah, this is, I'm going to retweet this. To give you an idea of how sweeping the wartime censorship laws are in Russia, Novaya Gazeta, Nobel laureate Dmitry Muratov's paper, published a picture of the protest that looks like this. That's from Max Seddon. So she has been arrested. Hey guys, yeah, so, all right, the mods got it. Cynthia, thank you, Cynthia, for taking care of that. Okay. A quick thank you to, Andrew Turner. Thank you to Andrew Turner. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew and Ryan Bliss and Eric Torres. Thank you, Eric. Maybe we'll talk about that a little later. Thank you, Aaron Easton. And Black's View. And thanks also to our new members, Ott, Rakaselg, and Pipanwa. Okay, so again, I'll let you know if I hear updates on that. And it'll be interesting to see if there are any more prominent protests. That follow that. Oh, but here's an update. Kevin Rothrock says, and now for another twist. The woman, the protester, Marina Osvanikova's husband, apparently named Igor Osvanikov, reportedly works for the state propaganda channel Russia Today. When journalists tried to contact him just now, he responded, "Do svidaniya." Goodbye. So I don't know if, I assume goodbye means like I'm hanging up on you or something. So apparently he didn't want to talk to reporters. I wonder if her husband knew. Her husband works for a state, her husband also works for a state propaganda channel. Now, Tom Lube thinks it means goodbye forever. I don't know. I mean, to me, the simplest interpretation would just be he didn't want to talk to people. Some of our viewers say, like, no comment. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I'm guessing he might lose his job too, right? I wouldn't be surprised at all if the government punished him as well. Kevin Rothrock says Russia Today staff, among those who haven't had the decency to quit yet, are already framing her protest as a security threat. This blank should be locked up for 10 years, says RT's Krasovkin, an absolute scumbag. That's from Kevin Rothrock. Yekaterina Andreeva, the state TV anchor who robotically kept reading the news as Marina Osvanikova ran onto the stage with an anti-war banner, has reacted to the incident with a yoga vid on Instagram, which is banned in Russia. But she posted it on Instagram, even though even though Instagram is banned in Russia, repeating the mantra "still as a stone." I find it funny that she posted on Instagram, which is supposed to be banned in Russia. Maybe she's using a VPN or something. That's from Kevin Rothrock. Let's see. Here it is. Yep, I'm Lookner. I'm going to view it as Lookner. That's me. Here she is. I'm not getting any volume. Oh, hold on. It's got music on it. I can't play it. There's her profile. My favorite troll comments are the ones that like imply, like I just got a troll comment that said left agenda Lookner. Right. So if you think it's wrong for Russia to invade Ukraine, which didn't do anything to threaten them, and kill all these people, and also if you think it's wrong that they have that they like ban independent news and they have state news that constantly lies to them and you're not allowed to say war and stuff like that, if you think that, then you must be a lefty. I love that you have a left agenda if you think that. Boy, I'm such a lefty for having those views. That person's gone. Oh, her lawyer can't find her? Anton Barbashin posted. Hang on. Hang on one second here. One second. Give me 1 second. Anton Barbashin said, latest news, her lawyer can't find her. She's probably being interrogated now. I would presume FSB would attempt to force her to either confess that she was forced to do that or that she's not well. She has 2 kids. She is vulnerable. That's Anton Barbashin, executive director of Riddle Russia, an online journal of Russian affairs. He also says she's facing from 3 to 15 in jail for this. Millions of Russians saw what she did. She is a true patriot. Again, we're talking about this employee of a state channel who actually interrupted the one of the main Russian news programs tonight, and you can see Max said and posted this, and she had a sign that said "Stop the war, don't believe propaganda, they're lying to you," and chanted "Stop the war, no to war."
Российский премьер подчеркнул, надо усилить сотрудничество в рамках союзного государства, а на совещании в правительстве обсуждали, как сохранить доступность.
Let's see what Medusa has to say about this. Russian state TV editor interrupts live news broadcast with anti-war message. The authorities say she will face misdemeanor charges for violating Russia's new ban on, quote, disinformation about the invasion of Ukraine. In a pre-recorded message, I'll read the translation of what she said again. She posted a message, a pre-recorded message. Where is it here? Just for the people who came to this late. For the people who have missed it, she also recorded a message beforehand. There she is right there. Max said and posted it. And the message says, here's a translation of what she said from Medusa. What's happening in Ukraine is a crime, and Russia is the aggressor here. And responsibility for this aggression rests on the conscience of a single man, Vladimir Putin. My father is Ukrainian, my mother is Russian, and they've never been enemies. And this necklace I'm wearing is a symbol of the fact that Russia must immediately end this fratricidal war, and our fraternal peoples will still be able to make peace. Unfortunately, I've spent many of the last few years working for Channel 1 doing Kremlin propaganda, and I'm deeply ashamed of this, ashamed that I allowed lies to come from the TV screen, ashamed that I allowed the zombification of Russian people. We were silent in 2014 when this all had just started. When all this had just started, we didn't protest when the Kremlin poisoned Navalny. We just silently watched this we just silently watched this anti-human regime at work, and now the whole world has turned its back on us. And the next 10 generations won't wash away the stain of this fratricidal war. We Russians are thinking and intelligent people. It's in our power alone to stop all this madness. Go protest. Don't be afraid of anything. They can't lock us all away. Very courageous. Incredibly courageous. Okay. All right, I'm gonna keep an eye on that story. If I have any more details on that, I'll let you know. Hang on one moment here, though. Sorry, I'm just checking a couple things here. I'd like to make sure I'm not missing stuff. Give me one moment to just get situated here. One moment, guys. I guess there's a air raid alert for Kyiv. I can't hear it. I need to turn it on my phone. I don't know if the siren's going off at the moment. Yeah, Boz Revatel, which is a Ukrainian news site on Telegram, said an air alert has been declared in Kyiv. They've been having these every day since like basically the start of the invasion. So they said there were air raid sirens in Kyiv. I don't know if they're still going on.